Oh. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurumeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnuhu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Narayana. Hari Om and greetings from Niagara Falls. As you think, so you develop. Everyone agrees? As you think, so you develop. As you are developing, so you must be thinking. As you are developing, so you must be thinking. With some awareness, we can analyze whether we're growing or not. We are going to be completing the first semester of Upadesha Sara. We've been studying together for 4 months, reading, writing, reflecting. We've been thinking about the guidance. We've been thinking about the map that an enlightened being has shared with us. Have the past weeks, the past month, been filled with more concentration, more cheer, more contentment, or more complaining, more criticizing, more crying? As you think, so you develop. As you are developing, how are you compared to when we began our course? Whatever way you are, that's what you're thinking about. In Shloka 13, Sri Ramana is sharing that there's 3 powers in creation that creation is made up of. Icha Shakti, which we tended to describe as the intellect, that's the power of the intellect. Jnana Shakti, which is the power of the mind. And Kriya Shakti, which is the power of the breath. When the Jnana Shakti, that's how we think, is directed towards the Kriya Shakti, or the breath is inert, so I become inert. And this fact, this truth, helps us to try to direct the Jnana Shakti to the Icha Shakti, to direct the mind to the intellect. In Shloka 14, Sri Ramana is talking about how when you restrain the breath, nothing changes. When you restrain the mind, everything changes. Which is more difficult, restraining the breath or restraining the mind? Which is more difficult, keeping the body still or keeping the mind still? It's exponentially more difficult to clean up that which is subtle as compared to that which is gross. So, in this shloka, Sri Ramana's encouraging us to engage in tapa. Tapa is to grow our comfort zone. And me restraining my breath is not going to make me more comfortable. It will simply affect my blood pressure. But me restraining my mind, I will judge less. I will feel judged less. And in our meditation and life course I had shared, a mind that is engaged in tapa shifts from a I can't mind to a I can mind. And the fulfillment of that is I can be enlightened in this lifetime. Please reflect on those words of I can be enlightened in this lifetime. If you still have that I can't mind, enlightenment will not happen. And we continue with the next two shlokas. We will complete the third part of Upadesha Sara. I'm on shloka 15. Nashtamanasotkrishta yoginaha krityamasti kim swastitim yataha krityamasti kim swastitim yataha. These shlokas, again, we have different copies of books, and mine, they're written in such a way where you chant it in quarters. So it says manasaha and then utkrishta. But in actuality, this is to be chanted as one line. So it's nashtamanasotkrishta yoginaha. It's Sanskrit etiquette. Important, but not so important. I just don't want you to think that I'm chanting wrong. If anything, you're chanting wrong. Okay. Nashtamanasaha. So here, Sri Ramana's letting go of this idea of anything relating to Hatha Yoga, Kriya Yoga. He's focusing on the upper parts of Ashtanga Yoga, focusing on Dhyana Yoga, the mind that is being restrained by itself. In other words, that knowledge is present. And here, when we say restrain, please remember, you cannot stop the thoughts. The nature of the mind is thoughts. This cannot be stopped. That is a false teaching to say, stop your thoughts. Here the word restrain is there, control, direct, that's all possible. Like a river. You can't stop a river, even if you dam it up, it's still flowing. It's just being directed in a different way. And now you have to extrapolate more. You can't stop the articles, beings, and circumstances of the world from coming to you. Cannot stop them. And I'll give you a personal experience relating to this. When we were studying in the ashram, there was a lot of people who came to meet Puja Swami Tejomayananda. They wanted to sing for him, dance for him. And once we had a really talented Bharatanatyam dancer who came and asked if she could perform in front of Bhagwan Jagadishvara, our mandir at Sandipani. And Guruji said yes, so as soon as the arti was complete in the evening, they quickly cordoned off a big square in the mandir where we usually had Ramayana class. And she was to dance in there, and people were sitting around. And as this square was being formed, one of my batchmates, he was literally pushing people out of the way to get a front seat. And I thought to myself, wow, I didn't realize he was so passionate about Bharatanatyam and wanted to get this good view. And I sat behind him, I am now passionate about Bharatanatyam due to Sheila, but before then, those are just words to me. So she's about to perform, and I look at my batchmate, and he's looking down at his hands going, Shiva, 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 Shiva. He didn't want to see that girl. So he was just looking at his hands, chanting Shiva, 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 Shiva. And I just wanted to tap him on the shoulder and think, you're never going to see a girl in your life. Isn't half the world girls? See, he's practicing stopping the thoughts. He's practicing stopping the articles, beings, and circumstances. You can't stop the thoughts. You can't stop the articles, beings, and circumstances. All you can stop is giving them particular attention. When a thought comes, how many thoughts a day do we have? 60,000, right? Do you give particular attention to all 60,000 thoughts? That's not even possible. But there's some thoughts we do give particular attention to, no? And the more attention you give to those thoughts, the more they encourage thoughts like that. Sri Ramana is teaching us to withdraw, the word restrain, to withdraw the particular attention to articles, beings, circumstances, to thoughts, because by doing so, reality changes. Whatever you're giving particular attention to is your reality. A very common expression of this is, pain is mandatory, suffering is optional. You're not giving particular attention to the pain, so you don't suffer. Yes? Someone who can do that is called a yogi. And not just an ordinary yogi, utkrishta, exalted, the highest. Highest because now their reality is the highest, since they're not giving reality to the A's, B's, and C's, not giving reality to the thoughts. They're tuned into the spirit. They're tuned into their nature, that is existence, awareness, joy, that which is closer than these entities, these thoughts. These days, everyone is called a yogi, but this is the full definition of a yogi, someone who has absorbed their mind in awareness. Now you can drink yogi tea, correct? There's going to be yogi this and yogi that, but here's the full definition of yogi. Krityam astikyam. When someone has absorbed their mind in awareness, what is there for them to do? Every one of us right now is acting for fulfillment. We're acting for reaching Ananda. But when you reach Ananda, what will you have to do? What will you do? A yogi is someone who has cleared all of their debts. Every one of us, since our first breath, has been taking from this multiverse. They're called the Pancha Rinas, the 5 debts. Those debts are to the Devas, that is nature's forces like rain and wind and the sun and gravity. Those debts are to Bhutas, nature's beings like trees and worms and bats and cows. I had asked someone recently, name some of nature's beings that keep giving to us. And someone said goat. And I thought, out of all of nature's beings, you thought of a goat. What is it that you're taking so much from a goat? Closer than that is called Samajrina, which is us taking from society, people who volunteer, people who teach, firefighters. Remember in the happiness series, I asked all of you, which professions are the happiest? Do you remember what the happiest profession is? Clergy, those who work in the religious field. And number 2 was firefighters. We're taking from society. Closer than that is called the Pitar Rina, the debt we owe to our ancestors, to our families who taught us language and values. And the most fundamental taking is our Rishi Rina, the debt we owe to those who worked the hardest and smartest to become independently joyous and then gave us the map and showed us that this map works. A yogi is someone who's cleared all of these debts. Only a yogi doesn't take from the multiverse. Conversely, they give back. Every one of us keeps taking and taking and taking. Only upon enlightenment will we stop taking. Don't those kinds of friends frustrate you, the ones that just keep taking your time? Keep taking your attention. Those coworkers, those leaks in your home, a sink or a toilet, they just keep taking. But those friends who never take from you, never ask you for anything, never need help, they're just different, no? A yogi. Swastitim yataha, the yogi knows existence, awareness, joy. Doesn't know of existence, awareness, joy. Delete the word of. Knows existence, awareness, joy. There's such a difference between knowing of God and knowing God, correct? We all know of God, but do we know God? Let's chant this shloka together again. Nashtamanasot krishta yoginaha krityamasti kim swastitim yataha. Next. This is the last shloka. I'm just going to pause. Sheila! Google Home! Sheila! Come on, dear. Just come here and turn it off. That was Google Home. That was my wife. I'm giving her a smiling look right now. The next shloka to complete the third part of Upadesha Sara. Drishyavaritam chittamanasaha. Drishyavaritam chittamatmanaha. Drishyavaritam chittamatmanaha. Chitta darshanam tattva darshanam. Chitta darshanam tattva darshanam. Drishya varitam. Drishya means that which is seen. Like drig drishya. Drig is the seer, drishya is the seen. Varita means to pull back, means to withdraw. If you're withdrawing, where are these thoughts going? Because the thoughts have to flow, as I mentioned. So where are they going? Chittam, the mind, is moving towards the Atman. The mind is directed towards the spirit, that which is closest. An extrovert mind is that which encourages more thoughts. An introvert mind is one that does not encourage more thoughts. Try to reflect when you try to find some quiet time. In that quiet time when you're trying to quieten your mind, when thoughts came, did you encourage more thoughts? That, oh, I'm feeling restless, and you keep on identifying with that restlessness, so you get into instruction mode. I should do this, I should go there. Or, in that quiet place when you're trying to quieten the mind, that you don't think about the future. You don't think of what you have to do. And even if thoughts come, You're practicing to not encourage those thoughts to go out, but rather, what is a thought? What's behind a thought? Drishivaditam. The mind is created extrovert. It is not extraordinary for the mind to be worldly. It is extraordinary for the mind to be inward looking. And it's so logical. The extrovert mind is one that is needy. And I'll deepen this more. An extrovert mind, one that is not withdrawing, one that is not redirected to the spirit, becomes a workaholic. Why? A workaholic is one who's postponing their happiness. A workaholic is one who acts, and only with the achievement of that action will there be happiness. A workaholic, someone who's needy. Whereas one who is inward looking, they don't act for that achievement. They find absorption in that action. So they're not postponing happiness, they're experiencing happiness. They become less needy on people's opinions, on public approval. They become masterly. Chitva darshanam. This is the vision. Vision here means experience of chit. There's a difference here. Chitta is the mind. Chit is consciousness. This vision, this experience of chit is the same experience of reality, the exalted yogi, of the truth. This is enlightenment. And in the language of Swami Chinmayananda, this is objectless awareness. We are aware of stuff. I'm aware of a sports score. I'm aware of the weather. I'm aware of you looking at me. I'm aware of my kurta. I'm aware of so many things. But that awareness is always directed towards articles, beings, circumstances. What if there was no articles, beings, and circumstances? There was only awareness. That's the truth. Those articles, beings, and circumstances depend on awareness. Awareness depends on none. In sleep, there's no A's, B's, and C's, but we're not recognizing that awareness. Have you all experienced a time when you're just paying more attention, you're more careful, you feel yourself as that awareness, as that presence? I know we have, but then it goes away because, like I said, we're so used to having an extrovert mind, we encourage thoughts then. We start to describe that awareness, and all of a sudden that awareness is directed towards A's, B's, and C's again. We're stuck in that. Chitta to chit. This is a fulfillment of Ashtanga Yoga. I had shared with all of you. Pratyahara is really, past asana and pranayama, pratyahara is really where tapa, a seeker, is born. And Sri Ramana is sharing this last idea because a remainder of Upadesha Sara is this inquiry, this chitta to the chit. And he just goes deeper and deeper and deeper so that the thoughts go deeper and deeper and deeper until we're not aware of the thoughts even, only awareness. This will take practice. What is the Sanskrit word for practice? Abhyasa. And what is the Vedantic word for someone who doesn't practice? We already named them, isn't it? Chick Boston, Chick Cleveland, CM Fairfield. Abhyasa. Adhyasa means to believe what you're not. Adhyasa is a superimposition or a hallucination. Only abhyasa ends adhyasa. Adhyasa or projection is I am my thoughts. With abhyasa, I am the knower of the thoughts, and anything I know is not me. And here's where the inquiry begins. Narayana.